of all of these things? Insecurity. You don't have the experiences that you were supposed to experience. Why? Because you didn't fight through the fear. You don't have the experiences. You don't have the capabilities. Then guess what? It's inside of you. You can do it. You are capable. But because you didn't go down that path, because you gave into these things, and insecurity is tough. It can be tough. And I know, having dealt with so many of you ladies in the past, that this is where you really feel like life is not a lot of fun when you get to that insecure place. And here's a big danger. This is a danger zone. And I want you to circle it. I want you to put an asterisk by it. And I want you to think about this and just give this some thought. Just consider this. I'm not asking you to buy into anything that I say, but I just want you to give it some thought. A lot of your problems come in this door. A lot of the problems in our life come through our weaknesses. The areas that we're weak. When we're insecure, we project our insecurities onto others. Yes? We project it onto our kids. We project it onto our spouse. We project it onto our friends and our families. And because we're thinking something about ourselves, we start to assume other people are thinking the same things. And danger down that road. Danger, danger, danger. This area, this is where people like to come and sell you stuff too. They want to come in, and these areas of weaknesses, they know you're weak, and they're going to come in and say you something. I got something for you, right? And you go on, you watch commercials, you see things, they're always painting this problem. Oh, there's this big problem, and we've got the solution for you. It's in our weaknesses that we have to be very, very, very careful, because there is a lot of danger in our insecurities. Now, this is the problem. But we didn't come here to talk about our problems. We came here to talk about the solution. So that is the path of the caveman, the fear reaction. What about the other path? The path that we want to go down. This is the path of Yoda. Right? And what does Yoda say? Name must your fear be before banish it you can. This is the path of Yoda. So replace one for another. Don't try to stop your doubts. If you try to stop doubting, that's kind of tough to do. Stop worrying. Who's ever tried to stop worrying? And then, you know what happens when you try to stop worrying? I know what happens. Then you're like this. Well, I don't want to let go of my worry. Well, if I let go of my worry is different than concern. Worry is different than concern. Okay, so let's look how we can replace. Replace your doubt with faith. Doubt is believing in a negative outcome. Faith is believing in a positive outcome. You don't have to go down that negative path. Again, weeds don't take energy. It's going to happen anyway. But you can replace your doubt with faith. Faith that it is going to go well for you. How do we replace our worry? That's what we're talking about here. And what I want you to understand, because I know that worry is a big one for so many of you. This is active. Worry is active. Brave is active too. It's not sitting around thinking about it. It's not even sitting around learning about it. It's about going out those doors and being brave when you walk outside those doors. Being brave when Monday comes. Monday's coming. It's going to happen. Some of you are already worried about the alarm clock. I don't want you to be worried about it. If you're worrying about your alarm clock now and the things that you're going to on Monday, they've already won. What's the point? But it doesn't have to be that way. You recognize, please, I hope you recognize, you can see it differently. You can choose right now. And if you're feeling the pressure of your Monday morning alarm clock, I'm begging you, look at it differently. It's not your life that's going to change, it's you. It's you that's going to change it. You're going to change it by replacing the negative with the positive. So what is the opposite of outs? How can we view, instead of ouches, we're looking for the door, we're looking for a way to get out of this thing. Well, what's the opposite of that? Opportunity. There's a ton of opportunities out there that you don't even know. And you see this with your kids. I want you to think about this. If your kids would listen to you, if you could say, look, I know where you are. I know what's going on in your life right now. I've been there. And if you'll just get out of that a little bit, if you'll just go down that path, if you'll just do that, it's the same thing for us. We see life only through our narrow view, but recognize this. Perception is reality. Perception is reality. But there's a whole world out there that you don't even know exists, waiting for you. And with faith, we can believe that it's going to be good for you. A fish doesn't know that water is wet. You don't know what you don't know, but you do know that there is stuff outside of there. There is opportunity waiting for you. And instead of looking for outs, I want you to replace your outs with opportunity. And the opportunity may just be an opportunity for growth. Go through failure, please. Please, I beg you. Go through failure. Fail. Go out. What is it that you're wanting to do? There's something that you want to do, and right now you're worried about the thing that you want to do. You're worrying about it right now. But there's something inside of you that you were born with, that you have developed over the years, that you really want to do. There's opportunities that's out there. I think one of the greatest opportunities over the last course of time is Redbox. I'm fascinated with Redbox. You know why I'm fascinated with Redbox? What a simple idea, right? It was such a simple idea. He put a box. And this is a guy that went through a lot of failures before. If you go back and read the story of Redbox, he did all these different coin operating businesses. And he failed and he failed and he failed. And he came up with Redbox. What is the DVDs in it? Genius. It's freaking genius. It solves a solution. Who doesn't use Redbox every now and then, right? That was an opportunity that was there. Did he create anything that didn't already exist? He just put some DVDs in the box. That opportunity was there. What opportunities are in your life right now? As you sit, there's some opportunity in your life. I know you're a little bit scared about it, but it's waiting for you. What if you were born for it? What if that was your purpose on this earth? And what if other people are waiting for you to get off your ass and go make it happen? That is the story for all of us. And sometimes if it feels like this guy, and sometimes he seems like he's in my head. Look, I'm just as guilty of this stuff as you are. I've learned this stuff the hard way. A foolish person doesn't learn from their life experiences. A smart person learns from their life's experiences. A wise person learns from the experiences of other people. And that's what I hope to teach you. And then, if you keep going down this path, what's the opposite of weakness? Strength. You'll get stronger. You'll get better. You work those muscles, and I use the physical a lot because we can see the physical. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows that if I work, if I run, man, that first mile, oh my gosh, if you've started a 5K program, Couch to 5K, if you've started half marathon or marathon or whatever it is, the first time you went out there, that first mile that you run, that's a tough son of a gun, right? I mean, huffing and puffing, and hey, I've been there too. But as you do it, you get stronger. If you base your life off of the first mile, but you don't have to. You can go out there. You can do it. Replace your doubt with faith. Your worry with brave. Your outs with opportunity. Your weakness with strength. And what is the end result? What do we really want? What is the thing that we're really after? See, when we go out and we say, I want to lose weight. People don't really want to lose weight. They want to look good in a bathing suit. They want them jeans to feel good. While brave is being brave is a thing we want on the surface level. What is the thing that we really want? What is the prize at the end? And it is confidence. That's what you really want. You want confidence. Now I want you to look at how you get the confidence. This is how one path leads to insecurity, the other path leads to confidence. And that is what you really want. That's what you're really after. And if you go down this path, if you use those tools, use those things, and I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen later today. It's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to happen when you go home. You're going to be faced with these choices. You're going to be faced with which one of these paths that you want to go down and which way that you're going to look at it. And it's going to be up to you which one of these that you choose. But it is possible. It's not the absence of fear. The question is, remember the question that we answered before? It's not if you have fear, it's if fear has you. Because I don't want to see anybody else end up in a roadside ditch. And I hope that you recognize the figurative version of that. It's not always the literal one either. It can happen to all of us to go down those paths. Remember the commercial. The one thing leads to another. We don't have to go down a path. And I don't want that path for any of you ladies in here. I want you to choose this other path. And I hope that you believe that it's possible for you. Who believes it's possible? It is possible for you to go down that path. And that's the path that I want you to go down. Now, at the very end here, as we get ready to wrap this up, the application. The application, part 4. As I was preparing for this, and again, I always think pragmatically. I always think about in the most practical sense, how can I help you live a big life? And I was asking myself, and I was even having this conversation with Pamela, and I recognize an area that is difficult for us to navigate. And if I have a tough time answering this question, I'm sure that you do too. Which one is more important? Living your regular life? We're going to go back to regular life, right? We've got bills to pay. We've got to-do lists. We've got laundry. We've got those things. We're all going to go back to that. So which one is more important? Living that regular life better? Or picking something big, those big, hairy, audacious goals, those big adventure things? Is it a matter of living my regular life better, or should I go out and do bigger and better things? Which one of those should I focus on? And so I'm thinking, which one of those should I help you with? And I realized it's really both. It's both of those things. Again, these two things work together. And so in order to help you, I call these the micro and the macro. And in order to help you with both, number one, the first part, Monday is coming. And the micro. In this box over here on the side, I'm going to set this table over here. In this box is a checklist, a Monday checklist. And for who's gone through Geronimo Week before? Okay, Geronimo Week can be a pretty good thing, right? You can get some shit done during Geronimo Week, right? Okay? Ask these ladies to help you with that. There's a checklist. When Monday comes, you can conquer. You can take that Monday on and you can go forward. And I've got to check. I was going to put it in your handout with you, but I knew this is just going to complicate. You're going to get overwhelmed. If you want one, it's over here in this box for you to take with you. So that when Monday morning comes, you can conquer your regular life, the micro version. That you can go back and you can kick butt. Our email address is on there. There's ladies in here that have used this to have one of their best weeks that they've ever had. To go forward and to kick butt, literally. That's the micro version. And I hope that you begin to look at your Mondays as an adventure as well. They can be an adventure too. And if you need some help on how to do your Mondays with more adventure, you just need to see Miss Pamela. She is great at doing that kind of stuff. Okay? So that's the micro. What about the macro? What about the big things? Now, I recognize in the past that I have given you the Geronimo projects before. I've given you the missions. We didn't have enough time to cover those things. And so sometimes they tend to be a little bit more of a stumbling block. But the thing of it is, you've got to do bigger things. If those checklists and the getting the stuff done and your workouts, right? And your healthy eating and your meal planning and those kind of things, they are important. If they are the push of your life, you need a pull. You need everybody, your children included, everybody needs a compelling future to pull them into the life that they want. And that's what this macro is. The Martian in you. There's a movie that just came out, The Martian. By the way, Pamela and I, we went and saw this great movie. I would encourage anybody to go and see it. It's a really good movie, but the story behind the movie is even better. And I'm not sure if anybody in here is familiar with this and familiar with the history and the story behind The Martian and behind the guy that made it. But it's a fascinating story, and it is a great look at the opportunities that are out there waiting for you. And so he wrote this for Salon.com, and I'm gonna read this real quick, and this is it. We're gonna wrap it up with this. But I want you to think about your compelling future. What's your compelling future? You're more than just a bill payer. If that's the reason why you get out of bed on Monday mornings, no wonder it's tough. Find something to pull you out of bed instead of just looking for the things that push you out of bed. So Andy Weir is the guy's name that wrote The Martian. He says, "How science made me a writer. As a programmer and an all-around nerd, I learned that the intricacies of science can be a great driver for plot. I'm a nerd." Okay, a lot of people say these days, but I really am. I was hired as a computer programmer for a national laboratory at age 15. I've seen every existing episode of Doctor Who, classic and modern. I study orbital dynamics as a hobby. My idea of a good time is sitting down and drawing on that knowledge to imagine space missions from the beginning to end, getting as many details right as I can. Pretty freaking nerdy, right? On top of that, as you might expect, I've also been a science fiction fan ever since I was old enough to read, which is when I started plowing through my dad's nearly infinite collection. One day, in between doing highly charismatic non-nerdy things, I started working up a manned Mars mission in my head. I even wrote my own software to calculate the orbital trajectory of my imaginary crew to get from Earth to Mars. And not some boring Haussmann transfer either. I envisioned a constantly accelerating Vazmir-powered ship, which, sorry, I got a little carried away with my nerdiness. Anyway, I had to account for failure scenarios on the surface mission. What if something went wrong? How could I design the mission so the crew would have contingency plans? What if they had multiple failures, one after another, that ruined those contingency plans? While working that out, I started to realize that increasingly desperate solutions would make a pretty interesting story. That's when I came up with the idea for The Martian. Oh, one more nerdy hobby I forgot to mention up top. I've also been a wannabe writer since I was a teenager. I wrote countless short stories and even penned 2 complete books before The Martian. My first book was so horrible, I have deleted all copies of it. Thankfully, it was before the internet, so there are no lurking caches of it anywhere. I made up for that failure by writing a second book that was also crap. This time, I resolved to do better. So I created an unlucky main character named Mark Watney, and then spent 368 pages making life a living hell for him. He's stranded on Mars, his crew has evacuated, he thinks he's dead, and he has no way to contact Earth. Was I worried about my scenario would have enough plot for the novel? Did I wonder if being that realistic would make a boring story? Hell yes. I originally wrote The Martian as a free serial novel, posting 1 chapter at a time to my website. Thanks to my previous attempts at writing, I had a small but loyal following of readers who read each chapter as I finished it. This turned out to be an amazing process. I got tons of feedback as the story progressed, and I fine-tuned the novel as I went along. Eventually, my website readers started bugging me to put the book up on Amazon so they could read it on their Kindles. So I formatted the book, slapped the public domain photo of Mars on the cover, and tossed it up there. I priced it at 99 cents because Amazon would not let me do it for free permanently. After that, things got a little crazy. Next thing I knew, I was on one of Amazon's top 5 science fiction bestsellers, and tens of thousands of people downloaded. This was written over a year ago, by the way. Then a literary agent published came knocking, and movie studios started bidding on the film rights. And now it's going to be hitting the bookshelves, not in the US, but in 18 other countries. Even more satisfying than responses to science, where all the readers told me I succeeded in my main goal, keeping them, that really made me tremble in fear as I was writing. People kept telling me how exciting and suspenseful, surprising my book was. The response is incredible, considering all I really did was write about how much I love science, albeit while tormenting my main character with the constant threat of death. He wrote that article in February of 2014. The book is out. It's been out for a long time, and it's not number 5, it was number 1. And it has been turned into a movie. And it's a very good movie. And this guy is very, very, very successful. But I hope you notice the path. He took something that he enjoyed, something that he loved, and he pursued it. You've got to find that thing that you're passionate about. There's something inside of you. There's something that you are passionate about, and that you would do for free, that you would do for fun, that it's not work. This guy would come home, he worked all day long, and he would come home and he would start writing, and he would write these programs that the rest of us would just be like, oh my gosh, nauseating. But this was this guy's passion. It made him come alive. Here's a big thing about your passion, and here's a part that I think a lot of you might be missing. Your passion will not be a subtraction, it will be an addition. Your passion will give you fuel. How many of you think you might have used a little bit more fuel in your life? Find that passion, that thing that you're passionate about. That's the thing that you pursue. Did this guy fail? Did you hear me talk about failure in his story? Yes, he failed. But going through his failure, it didn't even seem like failure to him, because it was something that he was passionate about and that he really enjoyed. There are things that you were born to do that only you can do. And only you want to do, probably. That's fine. Don't try to be another version of somebody else. Go out and do your own thing. So when Monday comes, and Monday is coming, when Monday comes, I want you to be able to hit the ground running. I want you to be able to look forward to that day, to conquer that day, to go down the right path, to face it with faith, to be brave, to look for the opportunity to gain strength, and in the end to get the confidence. And I also want you to find that passion. I've given you some room to work on this, some notes. Take some time this weekend. If any of you have any questions, hey, maybe one of your adventures for this weekend is to work on this. If you need help working on it, we'll be around. I'll be around. I'll be happy to help you in working on this part of your big life adventure, if that's what you want. May you leave here free of fear. Not free from fear, but free of fear. May you leave here and face your Monday to be brave, to have the strength, to ultimately gain the confidence, so that no one else ends up in a roadside ditch. Ladies, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you're ready to go out there now and conquer some of these challenges, these things that you're afraid of. There's some fears outside of these doors waiting for you. Now you're going to have an opportunity to go and put what we've just talked about into practice. And I hope that you do that. I hope that you go and find the thing that you're most afraid of, and that you go out there and conquer that. Whatever that is, whether it's the zip line, whether it's a conversation that you want to have with somebody. Don't leave this weekend with any doubts, with any regrets. Leave here gaining that confidence. So as I wrap this up, I'm going to do one last thing. And I don't know why I did this, but when Pamela doesn't even have her hat. I bought 3 of these hats when I bought this. And something just told me that I needed to do this. I did not have any plans for it at all. One for me, one for Pam. And I didn't know what I was going to do with the third one. But I figured out that I do want to give this last hat to somebody. And there's always a danger when I do this that, I'm going to single some of you out. And I hope that that's not how you feel about this. I hope that we're able to celebrate other people, right? Yes. Celebrate others and what they've done, okay? But there's somebody in this room that I want to recognize. Somebody that's been with us for a very, very long time. And finally got an opportunity to meet this girl this weekend. This girl's been on a journey. Matter of fact, she's probably made the biggest journey to get here. Literally and figuratively. Courtney, where's Courtney at? Courtney has been with us for a very, very long time. I mean, a long time. And this is her first retreat that she's got to come to. She flew all the way in from Germany to come to this retreat. Were you a little bit scared?
I was scared.
Right? She was a little bit scared to come here. And she still probably has some fears that she's going to be working through as she goes through the rest of this day.
I got your back.
But ladies, I want you to recognize that this is a picture. This is a picture of living a big life. Her life is getting bigger. And I couldn't be more proud of it. So here we go. Okay, ladies, so we're going to wrap this up with some energy, with some enthusiasm. I've got that song, the Brave song. We're going to finish with that same song. You're going to stand up. You're going to cheer each other. You're not going to find environments like this too often. And how many of you are willing to pour negative energy on yourself? We do that all the time. Pour some positive energy on yourself. Believe in the positive things. Build that up. Build up some strength and some confidence. So we're going to close with this song. Are you going to lead them, Pam?